Yo, what up, Street Talks? This is Eric Kim. All right, the Turbo Thought. So this one is on becoming in photography, becoming yourself as a photographer. So first and foremost, what is the biggest thing that we struggle with? I think the biggest thing we struggle with is issues when it comes to motivation in photography. So based on my personal experiences, the impetus behind us, buying new cameras, lenses, etc., is we lack motivation in our photography, and we believe that by buying the new lens, camera, blah blah, will motivate us to go out more and make more photos and stuff like that. And therefore, actually, this is important to notice because the ultimate goal isn't the technology. The ultimate goal is the motivation. Now, the hard thing is we are currently living a life in which kind of the odds are against us, right? Like a lot of us kind of live in undesirable situations or have undesirable lifestyles or hateful work or labor in order to pay the bills, whatever. And we therefore lack the motivation to go out and make photos. And we would rather be traveling the world, living nomadically, blah, blah, and making photos. So some ways to think about this. First of all, truth be told, it is in fact superior to live a more nomadic, off-the-grid life. However, if you're in a situation where you cannot, then it actually becomes more virtuous for you to strive with all your power and might to make photos in a less desirable setting. So for example, living in the suburbs, living in a place where there's no sidewalks. I know for me, the biggest difficulty that I personally had was trying to find motivation to do street photography. When you first moved to East Lansing in Michigan, and there's not much happening on the streets. And therefore, I discovered urban landscapes and other things. And even back in the day when I really wanted a digital Leica, back in the day, the M9 was the camera to have. And so photography motivation is very hard and difficult. And if you feel yourself unmotivated, no need to kind of blame yourself. Rather, the more scientific approach we can make is trying to change our variables and trying to change our life or our lifestyle in order to maximize our photography. So some simple thoughts. So a big one is just just shooting with a Ricoh GR. I really like the new Ricoh GR 3X digital camera. Just shoot extra small JPEG, which is what I currently do. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So let's see. Do you see it? Where's it? Currently shooting extra small JPEG on the Ricoh GR 3X, high contrast, black and white, and this is actually the thing too, is that I think the biggest motivation we have in photography, the biggest the thing that impedes us is we are afraid to shoot the photo because we're afraid it will be a quote bad photo. But actually, there is no such thing as a bad photo or a good photo. I see every single photo you shoot is just practice and an attempt. And the goal isn't even to make, the perfect photo which will outlast you in the time. Because even if you think about people like Henri Cartier-Bresson, what is his biggest impediment? Why did he give up photography? My theory on why Henri Cartier-Bresson gave up photography was that he almost became too successful in his lifetime, and he felt like he no longer had anything greater to aspire towards. I mean, everyone, apparently his jumping man photo, the over the puddle, he hated the photo because, he thought he had so many better other photos of his portfolio, but that one's the best selling. And he thought that, other people should buy my other photos, but no one wanted his other photos. So, and it's kind of sad. Like even to me, I consider Michael Jordan super sad because first of all, do young people even know who he is anymore or whether he's still alive? I mean, people know his shoes and sneakers, the retro Jordans, right? But like, I think a lot of kids who wear them, A, they don't know who Michael Jordan is. B, they don't know he's still alive. He's almost gonna be like Stan Smith, right? The Adidas sneaker is like, oh, Dad, did they name you after the sneaker or the sneaker after you, right? So in fact, the goal is to just perpetually be productive in anything that you do. And the reason why I love Kanye West so much as an artist, entrepreneur, person is he is probably the most productive artist, innovator in our personal lifetime, because there's no other artist I personally know with greater longevity. And even now, right, like in 2022 is he's still making new music, right? Donda 2 just dropped. I really like it. Donda 1 came out. He made his stem player or whatever. And whereas, other artists, I'm a big fan of Jay-Z, but in fact, the reason I think that Kanye is superior to Jay-Z as an artist is that I think Jay-Z is more distracted nowadays by business than focusing on music. The last quote-unquote album he dropped was, he signed Jay Electronica to rock, and a written testimony by Jay Electronica is phenomenal. To me, it's a perfect album, and Jay-Z raps a lot on it, and it's really good. I think the reason why it was so good, especially when Jay-Z raps on it, is Jay-Z wasn't motivated to make an album that sells. He was actually motivated to perform at his peak, like perform his maximum rap prowess. Because Jay-Z is probably, in my opinion, Jay-Z is probably the greatest rapper of all time. Yet what actually held Jay-Z back a lot, who knows, it might change a little bit later, but he was too maybe distracted by getting popular success rather than flexing his maximum rapping prowess. So who knows, maybe the best Jay-Z is yet to come. But anyways, moving forward, when it comes to motivation in our photography, to demetricate yourself is wise. So one of the best concepts I got from the philosopher Nassim Taleb is the idea of via negativa. So via negativa is via, through, negativa, negative. It's by this, you show your courageousness and your motivation, your inspiration, and creativity by deciding what to get rid of, what to subtract, and what to minus from your life. And deleting your Instagram could be 100,000 times the best thing you could do for your photographic motivation. Why? Because you decouple yourself from external metrics of success. And even nowadays, I think, I kind of think about like Instagram, almost kind of like McDonald's, right? Like to say that you have an Instagram or, follow me on Instagram, message me on Instagram, it's almost like telling people that you like McDonald's, right? Or like saying you drink Starbucks Frappuccinos. Like to me, it's quite unbecoming. And rather, the best way is to create your own website, blog, bluehost.com, install wordpress.org. And this is my thought was, I've had my wordpress.org website, blog for almost over a decade now. And as time goes on, WordPress and my website keeps getting better, whereas Facebook over time gets worse, right? More distractions, more ads, and more nonsense. And also, another thing I learned about photography is rather than thinking about success, quote unquote success in photography, rather thinking about flux. Flux just does change, Heraclitus, no man steps into the same river twice. Flux just means change, like flux capacitor, flux is good, because too much focus on progress and success in photography is predicated on metrics and numbers. And so, if you can't prove you're getting better by getting more followers and likes and stuff like that, and the reason why it's not an accurate measure is that it relies on a third-party algorithm, which is optimized towards advertising than anything. And so that's not good, right? And therefore, my notion is think of yourself, are you in practice or out of practice, right? So even when it comes to, working out and going to the gym and stuff, my thought is a power lifter or a weightlifter or anybody, they're only happy as long as they're still practicing or in practice, right? Like I saw a dude at the gym who could bench like over 4 plates, right? And I was like, whoa, what's your PR for your bench? Like how much can you bench? And then he said at his best, he could bench like 465 pounds, but now he could only, quote, only bench 420 pounds. And he was actually pretty sad and depressed and was talking about it. And so I think it's a good idea, and it's wise for us to always stay in practice. So as long as I'm making photos every day, all day, and progressing through my photos through just constantly shooting photos, I import it into my iPad Pro with a USB-C SD card adapter and upload to my WordPress media library. As long as that's still happening, I'm still happy. And also what I think it means is to not put too much importance on any single image. Like the Parisian notion we have of the photo gallery, a portfolio is a very antiquated one. It's, back in the day, one actually literally carried one's portfolio of images in a portfolio bag. But now that we have digital, I think we should embrace digital. I think digital is the future. Photography blogs and blogging your images is a quadrillion times more robust than printing them, and a lot faster and cheaper. And ironically enough, I still think that the websites and the internet is the future. You think about Web 5 from Jack Dorsey. Even like, crypto, the blockchain. Essentially, it's just like a ledger on the web, right? That's essentially what it is. And I think just when in doubt, just blog your own photos. Some other physiology considerations. I found that the more time I spend outdoors, the better. The biggest enemy to your photographic creativity and productivity is probably being indoors all day. I've actually found that being indoors has a quite physiologically depressing effect rather than a motivational one. And so whenever possible, use money to leave the house. Whenever possible, traveling. Other things which I think are very useful to just kind of kickstart your creativity is, attend a photography workshop, whether in person or online. There's lots of options nowadays. And, when in doubt, buy books, not gear. I think buying a photo book will inspire you much more to go out and make new photos of your own than buying that new camera or lens. Get an iPad, whatever you could afford, a Ricoh GR, whichever one you could afford, I think is a good option. You could download my presets for free. Just Google AirCam presets. If you are interested in photography entrepreneurship, start your own blog, podcast. I use the Anchor app website, anchor.com, which is now owned by Spotify, which makes it super easy for you to just, one thing I'll do, this is what I do is I'll vlog my thoughts I'm doing this on an iPad Pro with the extreme wide angle lens, or I use a GoPro or my Lumix G9, whatever. And then I'll import the photos into my laptop, to my MacBook laptop, open it up in QuickTime, and then you could do file export as audio, and then you take the audio file and you could just upload that to anchor.com directly from your laptop, and then boom, it's already published to everywhere. Start your own YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com/upload. You already have your channel. Just blog it yourself. And when you look at something, even if there's a 0.0001% chance that you think it might be an interesting photo, just shoot it.